Welcome to a Friday Reads, where I talk about what I read, what I'm reading, what I hope to get to next, and I'm doing pretty okay. The momentum has definitely gone down a little bit. Partially, that's just the holidays are next week. I'm busy trying to prep. So I'm prepping videos because I have someone coming in town, so I won't be able to film once they're in town. And I'm prepping filming for the lecture for the following week, so I won't be able to film for the lecture during Thanksgiving. So I'm just doing a lot more filming that I would like to be doing. I like filming. I don't really love bulk filming, but I'm about to be bulk filming. You're about to see this sweater. You're about to see this sweater a little bit for the next couple videos. And I'm excited about the videos. It's just, if you film videos, it's just, you're talking for a while. I'm why am I rambling now and making it last longer? This is, you guys know, you've been here. This is just authentically who I am. But I have finished 2 things. I have started another thing, and I have intentions on getting back to one thing. And I have vague ideas of what I might want to pick up next if I have the time, the energy. But also, we had this, revelation in therapy where it's I think I need to incorporate, puzzly things back into my life again. So I got this new, video games. I got one for my iPad and one for the PlayStation, and, I really want to play those. And, I'm just not someone who can listen to an audiobook and play games, especially puzzly games. I'm thinking. It's, the whole point. So, yeah, let's talk about what I finished. So, first, you've already probably at least seen on your feed the video where I talk about the entire Burning Kingdoms trilogy. I have finished The Lotus Empire, and I really liked it. So I talked about that whole series, spoiler-free, on Wednesday, and that whole series is probably a 4.5 out of 5-star series. I love it. I love it a lot. That first book in that series is a favorite of all time. This series is probably, and I say this, but it's the weakest for me, but I still really enjoyed it. The character work is amazing. Watching these characters make it to the end of this story in whatever way they end up there is really just, you just know that there was a lot of intentionality and care in their arcs and what they meant. That said, I would have loved more about the magic, especially with all the things that we get teased with in the second book. And that's probably what holds it back, just a smidge. If it wasn't so cool, I could let it go, but it's really cool. But if you're a character-driven reader and you like high epic fantasy, you need to check out this series. And if you want more spoiler-free thoughts, I somehow chatted for 17 minutes spoiler-free about this entire trilogy. And I promise you, it's spoiler-free. You won't know anything that's happening in that series. I'm just waxing poetically about my favorite characters and the stuff I like, and some of the stuff that I thought was a little bit of a miss. I also finished Fault Tolerance. I finished the Chilling Effect series. I did it, guys. I can take out this bookmark. This is Nigel from Jess Owen's channel, by the way. Very cute bookmark. So yeah, I finished Fault Tolerance. This was fun. I thought about if I should make a Should You Read for this trilogy, and I don't really have a lot to say. It's an adventure science fiction trilogy that's inspired by a lot of our sci-fi media, like Pokemon, Transformers, Portal, Mass Effect. It's just very much a fun combination of a lot of familiar tropes with a good spaceship of found family traveling and doing things and always being way too tired to keep saving the world because that's not what they're trying to do. It's classic, it's tropey, it's fun, it doesn't really overstay its welcome. I like the audiobooks, I like reading them. There were not enough cats in this book, but I do like what cats we got. The second book is probably my favorite just because Mala is in it the most. I love Mala, with my entire being. She's great. So I finished this, and that was cool. That was cool, right? I have not, unfortunately, sadly, to my shame, picked up Perhaps the Stars since last time we talked. I need to, but, this is a book where, I can't just, pick it up and put it down. I need to, have an hour or so to read, and that just hasn't existed. So I don't know when I'll get to this. Hopefully after I do this whole filming thing and I finish grading for my one class and I prep the next couple weeks, I'll have time. But for sure before the end of the month, next week, this is my priority. When I do have time, I don't have that many pages left. I mean, for this book, maybe it is a lot of pages, but I have 220 pages left. I can do this. Especially because I'm liking it. It's not actually a slog to read. It's just that each chapter is very long. And I just got out of the momentum of it. But also, when I have read this book, I have usually read it on Sundays, and I've read large chunks in that time. So I just think I need a couple days where all I need to do is read. That's my only priority, which isn't that the book lover's dream, and I can get this done. So then I'll have finished 3 series this month, which that's pretty dope, right? So the newest book that I have started and have thoughts on, because I'm about a third to 40% of the way through, is Warm Hands of Ghosts. I've done it, guys. I finally picked this book up. And it's just sometimes fascinating picking up a book after hearing so many critiques or reviews or thoughts about it. Like, I have seen everything from I love it, new favorite, hope you love it, to this is not the Winter Night trilogy, I was really disappointed, it's not what I wanted. I definitely got it's more historical fiction than it is fantasy, which, like, in some ways, Winter Night felt that way to me. So, like, that just kind of felt like Catherine Arden to me. And, like, I think the conclusion I've come to is, and it's not a very unique conclusion, it's just that when people like an author, people just like them for very different things and have different things that to them is like the hallmark of this is the author. This is what I love about their works and their voice, etc. And what's funny for me is reading Warm Hands of Ghosts, like, it's obviously not a Winter Night trilogy book. It shouldn't be. It's not set in 7th century Russia. Like, it shouldn't be. This is set in 1918 Canada, and gosh, I don't know which part of Europe we're in. Like, it's on the front of World War I, somewhere in there. And honestly, though, I think a lot of her hallmarks that I like about her writing are still incredibly there for me. I really like our main character, Laura. That was the first thing I noticed. Just like, I could see maybe the argument that the writing style is more stilted, but I think that's the type of writing style you kind of should lean into for this type of story. At least it felt like, yeah, this is the writing style I would expect for a World War I piece. And I have read a fair few World War I historical fictions, probably more than the average person, because I feel like everyone reads World War II, but I've read a few World War I. They aren't my favorite thing. This is actually turning out to be one of my favorite World War I interpretations, mainly because I think she has captured the horrors of war in a way that I think very few authors choose to do. A lot of authors, I think, romanticize it, but still, like, looking at the trauma of it, like, they'll still make it graphic, but it just never feels as pointless as it does here. It's grotesque, it's pointless, it's harrowing. You can see why our characters are reacting the way they do. And I think also it's just interesting looking at World War I 100 years later. Like, I mean, we're like 100 and some years past World War I, and looking back on why did this get started? And, like, you grow up and you think, yeah, people were drafted and, like, everyone was sent to the war. And it's like, wow, that's really a wild thing to do. Like, that really upends economies. That upends families and lives. And some people are really proud of it. Some people are like, you should have never done that. And, like, so I'm just thinking a lot about World War I, the triggers that led to it and, like, the fallout of it. Like, also just the ecological fallout of it. So I think the book is doing a great job because I'm thinking about all these things while reading it, and the book's not even talking about those things. I'm just thinking about those things because the way it's described, I can't help but think about, wow, what is this landscape looking like right now? Oh my gosh, the mental health of these people. Like, something I'd never thought of before. So Laura's a nurse. And she got wounded in battle, and that's why she's no longer on the front, but she's going back to the front because of ghosty brother. That's like the synopsis of this book or something. It's actually way more mysterious than that, and that is another thing we'll get to in a second that I find very fun. But she is a nurse, and everyone's always like, what happened to your hands? And they didn't have, like, a bunch of latex gloves or anything like that, or nitrile gloves. So every time they're treating people, like, if they have a cut, if they have a blister, the manure, the dirt that the soldiers are in ends up in their hands and causes infection. And, like, it's rough. Anyways, so I just think that representation has been incredibly strong, and I think it's being done in kind of a relatively subtle way. I think I'm just more fascinated by it. And then we have the story, which is actually 2 timelines, which I kind of like. I was worried it was just going to be only Laura. And it's not only Laura, and Laura has some fun friends with her, and I think they're good. It's a good trio of personalities right now. Some of it's caricature-ish, but also I think they're good personalities. We've got the benefactor personality, larger-than-life woman who's allowed to do things women normally can't do because she just is, tough enough. That's not our main character. Laura, who is our main character, she's very independent. She's lost a lot, and she copes a lot with her PTSD. Really interesting to see. And then we have Prim, and she's that naive person who doesn't really understand war but wants to help, and so it's through hers that you can see a lot of the first impressions of horrors of war. And then we have the brother Freddie, and he has his own timeline. And that's fascinating. and his timeline and what happens to him. And there's definitely some odd supernatural stuff going on. And I like it. I like the supernatural tone to it. I do not know who is alive. Isn't that fascinating? I have no idea. So right now where I'm at, she's traveling to the front 'cause she's trying to find out answers because she's pretty sure he's dead. But it's also like, is he dead? Because she lived with people who did seances and they are like, he's not dead. And it's like, huh. So I'm having fun. Like, does it make me want to read it all the time? Probably not, but I am not in a headspace to even read Perhaps the Stars, which I've been loving. So, like, is that the book's fault or the me's fault? Hard to say. So Perhaps the Stars, Warm Hands of Ghosts, those are the for sure two I'm going to try to read by the end of the month. And next week you won't get a Friday Reads because it's almost the end of the month by the time it would go up anyways. Might as well just wait for a wrap-up the next week. And also, I have my series to start video, which I always do around Black Friday. And so I have some options. One that's short and would help me finish another series, Usurpation. It's very short, probably incredibly doable if I have the headspace. But I worry that it would be too dense like with this, so this might get punted to December, where I also need short things to pair with long book. 10 bucks on what the long book is. I've also been kind of craving a contemporary romance. And I have on hold one that my friend recommended that's like a seasonal contemporary holiday romance. It's like Love Light Farms or something, but like it's gonna take forever. But I also refuse to spend more than $10 on an ebook for a contemporary romance that I'll only read once. Like I just can't. I can't. My brain will not allow such things, especially because the paperback is cheaper. But I don't like reading romance in paperback. It's when the physical copy is cheaper than the digital copy, we have lost the plot. We have lost the plot. This is why I started using libraries, because I was just like losing my mind. But if you have other seasonal romances you think I would like, a la Abby Jimenez, let me know. Because at this point, I might just start Part of Your World again. Who's to say? This weekend we're going to see Gladiators 2. We'll see if I like it or not. I mean, I liked Gladiators. It was pretty funny. I was talking to my friend, because, like, if you haven't seen Gladiators is, like, the classic tragic heroes arc. Like, oh my god. Like, I was just like, whoa, have I seen this arc before? It's still fun. It's a good execution of that arc. But I was talking to a friend about it, and he was like, he kind of gets on his high horse sometimes. He's like, he really only likes art if it's novel or does something different, which, if you know me, is just not who I am. As a connoisseur of art, I'm like, no, you can be trophy, just be good. Just be good at it. And so he was like wondering what the plot of the second movie will be. And I have no idea, but he was worried it was going to be a similar plot to the first movie. And I'm like, yeah, it might be. I don't know. And he's like, I don't mean like the general broad strokes. I mean guy whose wife is killed and put him on a revenge arc. I'm like, dude, that is such a common trope. It's called fridging. Like, this is just like a thing. But he doesn't consume as much sci-fi fantasy as me. But yeah, we'll see how it is. It should be good. And now I have a little book haul because all my special editions came in. My first one I'll show you guys. I actually had it for a while. I didn't unshrink it till now. I have my Bands of Mourning. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at Steris. Look at her. Ah, that's so great. If you don't know, Steris is one of my favorite characters of all times. You know, I should have compared Steris to Bones, maybe, in my Bones book tag. Because she's a lot like Bones. Steris. And then there's a lot of fun pictures throughout the book. I wonder if there's one I can show you that's not like a huge spoiler. Let's see. No, that's just the things. I mean, these are just really fun to have. Oh, this is pretty. Like that. So these are going to go on my shelves. And actually, this reminds me, because, I'm running out of shelf space, as is the plight of a bookworm. But I finally did it. I have put down a deposit with our carpenter to build built-in wood bookshelves in my sunroom downstairs. I don't know when I'll get them. It's not like, it's not going to be quick. It's probably within the year I'll get them, but it's like the dream. The dream's happening. I'm getting a library. And I mean, I'm not someone who could do what other people did and buy the weird Billy shelves and do it. No, I'm just paying this dude. And like, I also really like this is going to be real wood. They're going to be maple shelves. Like, I'm really excited about it. They're going to look so nice. And I just feel like, this house that I'm really loving, like I really do love this house. This is my stamp on it. Everyone who lives in a house does something to it, small or large, and this is going to be my contribution, and I'm pretty excited about it. Now, the other one that came in, this is so great. I've been begging for these for like half a decade now. So this is the side of it. This is The Way the World Ends for the Last Time. This is the Broken Earth trilogy box set. There is Esun, and there's her daughter. And now we have the cloth-bound books. They are so pretty, and they're very Art Deco, which if you're from Cleveland, we thrive on Art Deco. Like, it's a fun fact of we were too poor to do any new construction in like the 80s and 90s, so we just had to maintain the Art Deco. And now we don't have any of the ugly modern buildings from the late 20th century. Fifth season. It has really pretty end pages. This is the one that has the signed copy. Which, like, I know a lot of people loved having signed editions. My Bands of Mourning is also signed. I do like having it, but I like getting it signed because it's more just a momentum, a souvenir of a moment of meeting an author, which has not happened yet for me and Jemison. I'll work on it. I will get there. Obelisk Gate. Again, more pretty end pages. And this one has the picture of Esun. So pretty. And then we have the Stone Sky. And more green. I love the gems. It's so great. I wanted high quality. Not even high quality. I just wanted hardbacks. Like, truly. And these are great because, like, they open pretty well. And it's not like these are so, like, luxurious that you couldn't read from them. So I'm pretty excited about my little book haul there. Happy Christmas to me. Or birthday. My birthday's sooner than Christmas. We'll see. I'm a December baby, for those who didn't know. All right, that's this Friday Reads. I'm going to work on it. Honestly, chatting about The Warm Hands of Ghosts has got me excited to get back to it. So go me. That's why I film me sometimes. It's like I gotta pump myself up to, like, actually sit in a chair and read. But I'm going to wake up my foot that's fallen asleep and record the rest of the videos that you will be seeing next week. If you just want to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, if you're not going to tell me what movie you're seeing, like, are you seeing Wicked this weekend? I may or may not be. I will be eventually. But I figure I can't be spoiled for Wicked. I can be spoiled for Gladiators. So, you know. But emoji-wise, leave a ghost. Yes, for Warm Hands of Ghosts. Let's do that. And otherwise, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.